Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Ashley Blow, and I'm the Training and Prevention Specialist with Project Peace. Peace is an acronym, and it stands for Partnering to End Abuse in the Community for Everyone. We're located in Arlington, Virginia, and this is the last session of our SAAM in the Summer series. Call Me and I'll Be There, Lessons Learned from Mobile Advocacy. And today we have Adriana from Doorways, and I will allow her to introduce herself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. So my name is Adriana. I've been with Doorways for about a year. I'm the bilingual mobile advocate, and we're very excited to be here and to share our experiences today as for what we do with the mobile advocacy program. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat, and we'll make sure we have space for them either during the presentation or at the end. Ashley just left, but okay. So to tell you a little bit more about myself, I have been in the field of therapy and working with survivors and just with clients in need in general for about a decade. I have different experience here in the States and back in my hometown. And I'm going to describe a little bit what mobile advocacy is, just to get us started in terms of what we do at Doorways. So the idea is to be and to meet clients at the community wherever is needed. That's what we do. So we encounter them anywhere they call us from. It could be either people do connect us through HARP, or it could be from a police department or from just other community partners. And the idea is to provide advocacy and support out there in the community without having a structure or without having them having to have them in a specific location that sometimes due to the trauma they're not willing to. So this is like the general idea of it. And then throughout the session today, we'll be going a little more into the specifics of the work we do. So Ashley?
Sorry, do you need me to pull up the slides?
Yeah, you're gonna do
okay,
that.
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Until she does that, I guess we could just continue. So basically, one of the things that we would want to do after today is just to continue to connect to all of those people that work with survivors and that eventually need extra support and resources. So I see in the chat that there are some people that do HARP. I also see there's someone from Arlington School. So anywhere, like if it has any connection with law enforcement. So just for you to know that this is a service that Doorways provide, where we can provide what we can offer case management, and this is therapeutical case management with a strong knowledge of trauma in order to help them and locate the resources they need in the community. So sometimes it's just about processing the crisis, or just like de-escalating and just working with the victim around that. And some other times it's just like figuring out what the next steps are and like taking them to the correct places. So we came up with this presentation, and I'm gonna just go over it, and it's the idea pretty much is to talk about experiences that we have had, and also just leave you the idea that if you know of someone, or if you heard that someone is seeking for help, like we're here to support them. So why do we do it? Just because we love to connect with people. We have a passion for it, and the education. One of the questions was like, what education is needed for to become a mobile advocate? We have different backgrounds. In my case, I have a background in psychology and education, but it's basically anyone with the desire to help others, and to learn to listen, and just to be thoughtful and respectful with cultural like backgrounds and everything, and respond to it, and listen to people, and provide their resources. So that's like a little bit of the profile of who we are. And then the reason what we do it is because we want to empower this community, that we want to empower these people that are going through a crisis, to become independent and to become successful, and to get back to their own feet, and just move on happily and stronger. So I can. Okay, so what is a day like? And that's the fun part of it. It's never the same. I can say that we work in 3 different areas. So every day it's gonna look completely different. We are always open to respond to hard accompaniments, and this is something that could happen 24/7. We have amazing volunteers who also go to the field and meet with survivors of the hospital, and then we take it from there, and we work together to like get the information that they've gathered and learn about these clients, and then move on to following up and providing the services. That is for HARP. Yeah, that's right. That's the HARP volunteers. And whenever we are covering HARP, we also go to the hospital. So we do everything from like be there with the clients to following up, and also to we're involved with the training process. We help training the volunteers when necessary, and just training the community about the clients about the HARP program, the Hospital Accompaniment Response Program. And that is for the people who are not related to it. This is at Innova Hospital. And if anyone has questions about what this is, like I'm happy to talk a little bit more about it later on. So that's one part of it, like the response to HARP. And then like with these clients, we start a process of psychoeducation, and just the initial processing after the trauma they've experienced. We connect them with law enforcement when necessary. We help them with the follow-up appointments at the hospital. So we take care and accompany on the next steps in the medical part as well. We are their support. We advocate for them if there's a legal procedure open. And then we do, we said, lots of psychoeducation, and we prepare them to look at the next steps, whatever that is for the client. Like each case is different. All of our services are client-centered, so it will really depend on what the client is looking for, and we respect their timing and whatever they want to do next, and we take it from there. So sometimes it's just about like grounding them and like taking some time to listen. And some other times it's all the way to being there with them during court and so on. So another thing we do is we respond to clients that contact our hotline for domestic violence and sexual violence cases when they do not meet the criteria, for example, for imminent danger, and so they are or they are not requesting shelter per se, but they're just looking for resources. Then we will connect with them and offer these case management and connect them with resources. So again, we do the psychoeducation, we do the education around DV, the crisis intervention, and then we follow up and we make sure we get them to wherever they need to in terms of helping them with housing, like locating education or resources for their kids, legal procedures, anything they need. Then we also have our remote locations, like all the scatter apartments that are an extension to shelter. So we also have clients there, and with these clients, we're their case managers, and we offer that ongoing weekly support for case management, and then we provide them with anything, the logistics they need for their time in shelter. We have lots of meetings and trainings all the time that we attend to, and also that we are trying to implement for the community. And we are that's something that we really want to continue doing, that outreach part of getting to the community and like telling them. We have had a great response with the community partners in getting referrals and like just connecting clients to our services, and we're looking into continuing that and just like making those bonds stronger, and just like going to trainings with law enforcement and schools, and just letting people know that we're here to help them. I was telling you a bit earlier about the training for mobile advocates. It really depends. Dorwis has a very strong core training at the beginning that is for both for staff and also for volunteers, where you get like the overall domestic violence procedures, like just everything related to it. However, like as far as our training, it depends. It could be a background in mental health, lots of education, counseling, casework, like all those fields that are related to treating clients and to therapy and to supporting victims are a great fit. And as long as like you have the intention and rolling up your sleeves and just getting there and meeting these clients and really like changing your mindset and being there respectfully on their times and their system of beliefs. I think that's very important. And then there are many training opportunities in the community that we take, and that we also invite our team members and other members of the community to join. So the lessons that I have learned, deal with diversity and just be very, very respectful. It's one of the things, like sometimes clients are afraid that you tell them what they need, and that's not what the intention is. They are the ones who know better what they want and what they do. So it's a lot of respect on being there in their journey, but placing like without telling them, or without moving like from where they are at. So that is one of the most important and sometimes challenging things, because sometimes you want to see them away of the situation, or you want to see them away from the AP or whatever. But I mean, it's their choice, and we're there to support, safety plan, and process with them with whatever they decide is best for them. So there is where the respect comes from. Then setting boundaries, because yes, we are going to meet, and this is hard to do when you offer services out of the community, because I can meet with my clients at a coffee shop, I can meet with my clients at a library. Right now, the context has changed a little bit due to this pandemic, as for everyone else's. So we are using lots of video conferencing tools. However, like we are there, and that requires to have boundaries. So you don't have clients in crisis like expecting like to process in the middle of the night, but yet like because they have boundaries with you, but yet they need to know there's a hotline there to respond, and just like given the confidence to access these other resources that are available without breaking boundaries. Same thing if they are like in a therapeutical process with our Revive program. and they are working with a therapist, like we still need to like keep our boundaries and make sure that we refer them back to therapy for the things that are clinical, and then just complement that with what we do and the case management work. And then keeping communication open, that's the case in everything, with peers, with clients, with community partners. We do a lot of work with child protective services, with like just other organizations from that. So it's very important to keep communication open and in order to help survivors. And for the self-care, well, I love spending time with my family and friends. I'd say that's my self-care. I have a little one, and we just like to go out and do some outdoor activities, camping, just going on trails and things like that. And and this is something that I also like to refer to my clients as well, because self-care is something that, well, we all should do, and it's not necessarily in the radar of everyone. So working with self-care for me, and also encouraging my clients to like give that time for themselves and treat themselves despite the hard times and the struggles that you're dealing with, and it's part of the psychoeducation of teaching them how to allow themselves to have these spaces that are well, that they deserve in order to be better. I don't know if you have any questions about the services we do. This is our hotline. This is the best point of entry for all our clients. It's 703-237-0881. And again, a trained volunteer staff will be able to assess, like when you call this number, and to offer all the umbrella of services that we offer at Doris, including mobile advocacy. Anyone else have any question?
Hey, Adriana, I have a question.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic has hit, what has been the biggest challenge and the greatest reward in having to do mobile advocacy now?
Well, I guess the greatest challenge has been the fear and the fear from both sides. Like, of course, we as a staff, it's challenging just to go out there and be exposed and everything. And as well in the organization, like make sure that we're providing exactly, I mean, the same services and responding to the community without, with the precautions that need to be taken. And from the clients too, like for them, it has been challenging to come out and seek help. Some of them are inside their homes, locked in with their APs, or sometimes like they are in crisis because being there like around all the time, and they don't even have the access to communication to get out and to talk to us when they are locked in. So I think that has been the biggest challenge. And as Virginia is reopening, we have seen an increase in that we expected, an increase of calls and everything, because finally they are able to get out and make those calls and ask for that help. So another challenge is because of the pandemic, like resources are very tough, and like it's harder to like be able to provide them and to connect them with the resources. So like really looking into community partners and out of jurisdiction and everything it's needed in order to connect them to someone that could help them with respond their needs.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Other question? As for right now, though, we are reopening. I mean, this program is again offering face-to-face encounters. And of course, this depends on the client. If the client feels safe to have that face-to-face encounter, we're willing to do that. And if they rather continue with just audio conference and just phone calls and using all those other tools, we are okay with that too. So again, we are client-centered, and whatever the client prefer, like, we will respond in that way.
What are some signs that people can look for that kind of tell that their family or friends might need help or services?
That's difficult because it really depends. It looks very different, and I have worked with clients that have shared that, like, outside for family members and for the community, like, they do not realize how the relationship is, or like the crisis that may be into, because that's part of the power and control, like not letting them seek for that help. So really, like, creating that communication with people, and asking questions about how things are, and creating those spaces, to that safe spaces to talk and to share experiences, and normalizing it. And because some people are afraid of what others may think if you are seeking for services, especially if it has to do with therapy, even though like right now, like, that mindset is changing, and finally, like, people are agreeing more to it. There's still especially with some cultures and some, like, the resistance of getting those services. So just keeping those communication channels open, and be willing to be there and listen. Sometimes we just want a response with, okay, you should do this, but it's a lot about listening and respecting time. We're not to tell them, you need to get out, you, like, right now, like, you shouldn't be, like, putting up with this. It's about respecting where the client is and where the person is. Sometimes, and there are statistics for this, that the most dangerous stage in domestic violence is when the client is actually leaving the relationship. So it's very important not to force that, and learn from the client on when is the safest time and what is the safest time to do that without rushing it, and just having someone to process and to help throughout this process.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if anyone has any other questions, you can feel free to drop those in the chat. Here's one. Can you describe an example of a case of court advocacy? What did you do for the client?
Okay, so sometimes, I mean, we do have our court advocates that deal with everything that has to do with the protective orders and just custody, when it has to do with the clients. However, sometimes clients have court hearings outside from that. They could have, like, criminal cases, or like any other thing that is not directly related to the protective order. So in those cases, we go there, and we're advocate for our clients. We're there, we help them ground, like, these events could be extremely traumatizing or re-traumatizing for the client. So we are there, being that support, and just grounding, and, like, giving them that confidence and support they need during that time. And of course, like, there are questions that may come up then, so just processing those questions and helping them get to the right person to get those answers in terms of the process. If they have questions about what comes next or something, like, always helping them and advocating for them in that sense.
Great question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I know that it might take some folks a little bit of time to process. I'm a slower processor as well, so we'll give it a couple more minutes before we wrap up today's session. Okay, Adriana, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. I just want to thank you for being here today and providing this session for folks. I want to let everyone else know that I will send a follow-up email with a brief evaluation and where you can find the link to this video. If you have other people that want to watch it in your life, whether it's professionals or community members, we'd love for them to have access to this great information as well. Thanks again, and everyone enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon.